right here, sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit down, right there.
What up, we back, welcome back to another The Family Reaction. Men and women in blue power, exposing the dark truth of Mississippi police. Corrupt cops? That's right down my lane. Let's get into it.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
I told you last night about staffing issues with the Jackson Police Department that had Chief James Davis once again asking for more money to offer better salaries.
In one case, JPD told council members that they only have a handful of homicide detectives investigating more than just killing.
Nearly 3 years ago, a 3 on Your Side investigation revealed the Jackson Police Department had 8 robbery homicide detectives. It's half that number now, according to Deputy Chief Tyrone Buckley. Buckley told City Council members the news at a Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee meeting Thursday. Those 4 detectives are responsible for the city's 72 open homicides for last year, meaning they're juggling roughly 18 cases each.
It's alarming. 2, I have to have compassion for those 4 investigators. And 3, I have to have empathy for the victims and their families.
Tonight, questions of safety and transparency emerging yet again from the Jackson Police Department. And once again, a 3 on Your Side investigation finds the city's top cop misled the city council and the public about how safe Jackson actually is.
And you may remember Police Chief James Davis saying during an ad hoc meeting back in January that Jackson's overall crime dropped nearly 30% versus the year, 30% last year versus the year before. At the time, we questioned whether that was accurate because we couldn't see the data backing up what Davis said. Well, now we have that data and can say the biggest claim Chief Davis made to the council was wrong.
Well, since 2023 began, more than 100 people have been killed here in the capital city, but that number only recently surged because of something our investigation discovered: homicides that the department never revealed to the public.
Well, Howard, we've been tracking homicides in the capital city since 2016. We add them when the Jackson Police Department or other agencies let us know about them officially. And when they don't, you get an incomplete picture of crime here.
For Mercedes Onachukwu, her big brother Mario Moore was one of a kind.
He was full of wisdom and charm, and he just had a personality that you did not forget easily.
Moore saw an article from NBC affiliate WLBT about homicides there in Jackson, Mississippi that had gone unreported. Mario's name was second on the list.
I just broke down. I felt just weak. And I couldn't do anything else.
Grief is unspeakable.
They put them in a bag and they just dump them in a grave like they're a dog or something. Who gives you the right to do that?
To a difficult and disturbing story out of Mississippi, just weeks after NBC News learned about a man who was killed and buried without his family's knowledge, we've learned it happened again.
It's like my son's body belongs to the city. It's like the city is his father or mother, that it doesn't belong to me, that it belongs to them.
Family, them boys playing a dangerous game in the state of Mississippi. And after doing my research for the video that I'll present to you guys today, I'm far more than concerned for the people that do live in the state of Mississippi. Now, in terms of poverty, Mississippi is the poorest state in America with a poverty rate of 18.1 in 2021. Coming in second.
And he had Brett Favre playing games and like, all right, Brett.
Louisiana, and coming in third, New Mexico. And let's be real, family. From the outside looking in, it seemed like Mississippi is known for sweeping things under the rug. One example to come to my mind most recently is the Brett Favre scandal.
Fame quarterback Brett Favre is scrambling once again, but this time it's to save his name and reputation in his home state of Mississippi.
Yes, he is. National correspondent Mara Sirianni is in the newsroom with more on how the former star QB is finding himself in the middle of a fraud case. Mara?
Yeah, guys, good morning. When this first came out, Favre basically claimed ignorance. Well, now the Hall of Famer he's about to testify soon in this case. This is a widespread fraud scheme that he is accused.
Sirianni, she related to She related to the Eagles coach?
And it involves the misspending of millions of dollars of money that was supposed to go to federal welfare recipients in his home state of Mississippi. So this is an investigation that's been going on since 2019, and Favre is accused of using that money to help fund pet projects, including the construction of a new volleyball stadium at the University of Southern Mississippi, where his daughter was a member of that team. So Favre denies any wrongdoing, and again, he is set to testify this month, despite asking, I should say, to be removed from this lawsuit about a year ago. He also sued the state auditor who was investigating this case for defamation and said he did pay back all of the misspent federal welfare money. The Green Bay's Packer legend releasing a statement at the time saying in part, quote, "I have been unjustly smeared in the media. I have done nothing wrong, and it is past time to set the record straight. No one ever told me, and I didn't know the funds designated for welfare recipients were going to the university or me." Mississippi ranks among the poorest states in the nation, but according to the state and federal auditors, prosecutors, I should say, not only a fraction of federal money actually went to those recipients and directly to families. Instead, they say from 2016 to 2019, the Mississippi Department of Human Services allowed well-connected, basically the rich and famous and powerful, to misspend nearly $80 million, again, intended to go to welfare recipients.
But now we got another huge problem in the state of Mississippi.
80 million. Oh yeah, Brett wasn't the only one. Damn. All y'all need to go to prison.
It seems to be going on for some time now, but finally getting some light on the situation. But this time, it's coming from the people who get paid by the citizens' taxes. The people who's supposed to serve and protect you. The boys and girls in blue. Fam, imagine missing one of your loved ones, having hopes they still living. And the people you report these missing people to is responsible for burying your missing loved one, not contacting you properly. Let's be real. If it was a warrant, they're going to get in contact with you, whether they have your number or not. Now, this is just in one county, which makes this situation even more alarming. In the last 8 years, 215 bodies have been stored, unclaimed, and buried in a field in Hinds County, which is a vacant area of land behind the police station in Hinds County. No identification, not buried properly, just identified by a number like an inmate. And if that's you all, family, wait till you hear the excuse the chief said and red flags being presented years before this, according to my research. So before we go over this one, remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. There's really no excuses for certain things, like the authorities reporting the numbers of people who lost their life. But we all know if such thing is not done properly, of course, it's a motive behind it. Now, some things is out of our control as just regular citizens, like politics and things done behind the scene. In January of 2023, Jacksonville, Mississippi Police Chief James E. Davis had went public and addressed the city council. He cited
Mississippi Christian Living on this cap-ass magazine.
Crime statistics from a 2-page paper, the percentages and taking points, but very little raw data to back up his accusations. The biggest claim from the department was that overall crime in the capital city had dropped nearly 30% from 2021 to 2022, and he spoke on that, as we mentioned, in January of 2023. The list had showed violent crimes dropped more than 22% and property crimes went down nearly 8%. But that drew red flags to the people that lived in the state of Mississippi.
Tonight, questions of safety and transparency emerging yet again from the Jackson Police Department. And once again, a 3-on-your-side investigation finds the city's top cop misled the city council and the public about how safe Jackson actually is. Investigative reporter CJ Lemaster joins us now with a story you'll only see here on WLBT. CJ?
Well, Courtney Ann, you may remember Police Chief James Davis saying during an ad hoc meeting back in January that Jackson's overall crime dropped nearly 30% versus the year, 30% last year versus the year before. At the time, we questioned whether that was accurate because we couldn't see the data backing up what Davis said. Well, now we have that data and can say the biggest claim Chief Davis made to the council was wrong. Weeks after Davis told council members those numbers, the first tangible crime stats revealed to the public in years, We got back the raw data used by JPD's Major Investigations Division to put all that together. Those individual crime categories, aggravated assault decreasing 34%, for example, were all accurate based on the crimes listed on that chart. But the biggest number Davis touted, a 29% drop in overall crime, is dead wrong. Someone in the department added percentages together instead of compiling the statistics correctly.
Nah, these headlines are crazy. Let me go back a little bit, and I'm going to just read them out because y'all probably can't see them.
Investigative reporter CJ Lemaster joins us now with a story you'll only see here on WLBT. CJ?
Well, Courtney Ann, you may remember Police Chief James Davis saying during an ad hoc meeting back in January that Jackson's overall crime dropped nearly 30% versus the year, 30% last year versus the year before.
Mississippi man arrested after marrying, I guess that's the third. Police found more than 80 pounds.
At the time, we questioned
pot.
Whether that was accurate because we couldn't see the data backing up what Davis said. Well, now we have that data and can say the biggest claim Chief Davis made to the council was wrong. Weeks after Davis told council members those numbers, the first 10
child accidentally oots self in South Haven. Like, bro, what is going on?
Tangible crime stats revealed to the public in years. We got back the raw data used by JPD's Major Investigations Division to put all that
woman poses as Walmart employee, steals merchandise. Like, what the hell?
Together. Those individual crime categories, aggravated assault decreasing 34%, for example, were all accurate based on the crimes listed on that chart. But the biggest number Davis touted, a 29% drop in overall.
Police, 2 teens fight over gun at KFC in Mississippi, causing it to fire. What the?
All crime is dead wrong. Someone in the department added percentages together instead of compiling the statistics correctly. When we got the raw data, we calculated that overall crime number 2, and you see it on your screen.
Man accused of taking a Cleveland firefighter out of the game wants his bond lowered.
It was 11.7% drop, not 30%.
I had several doubts, but the only thing we could do is ask the questions and leave it up to him to tell the truth. And you know, look, giving a not factual statement to the legislative branch who holds the purse strings of the city does not help any director. It does not help the chief, because you're painting a good picture. It's incumbent upon the leadership to be as honest as they can, to be factual as they can, so that leaders that are elected can do what they need to do.
Now, this isn't the first time JPD has misrepresented its own crime statistics to the public. Our investigation 4 years ago revealed the department put out inaccurate, lower statistics on multiple occasions, and only when those numbers were released to the public. Those lower numbers made it appear overall crime dropped years ago when it actually went up. The department never gave us a valid reason for why those numbers were changed. Well, for this story, we reached out to Chief Davis and Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba for a response to these most recent findings. We've not received any response at this point.
So after they realized that the numbers was false, some alarming details had came up the following months. The local news had broke. It was unintentional, quote unquote. Analysts revealed 24 additional homicide victims JPD failed to disclose in 2023. And guess where the bodies was held at, family? In that isolated landfill in Hinds County.
Well, since 2023 began, more than 100 people have been killed here in the capital city, but that number only recently surged because of something our investigation discovered: homicides that the department never revealed to the public. Investigative reporter CJ Lemaster joins us with what he found and what the department is doing about it. CJ?
Well, Howard, we've been tracking homicides in the capital city since 2016. We add them when the Jackson Police Department or other agencies let us know about them officially. And when they don't, you get an incomplete picture of crime here. What we've found is that Jackson police have been counting those homicides just like we do internally as they happen, but haven't always released those to the public. Now, new information from JPD shows just how many we're talking about. 24 homicides over the course of this year. Now, that means we're now at 102 for 2023, nearly neck and neck with last year at this time. And that changes the conversation here, too, because we've been reporting a 25% drop in killings from last year. That's gone now. The biggest question here is why? Why did this happen? Well, Captain Abraham Thompson tells us it wasn't intentional. They're still trying to see where the breakdown in communication took place, but he says they have protocols in place now to make sure news organizations and you will be notified anytime a major crime like that happens.
As you can see, the chief just gave an excuse. But during that news article, something else was presented to the public. The identities of the people who lost their life, who the police failed to disclose. And for the very first time, some families found out that their loved ones was deceased from that very article. May they all rest in peace. And even more disturbing details came out. Like, why would they try to hide it? One of the facts, one young man lost his life by the hands of an off-duty police officer. After just one smear attempt they claim they did to the family, they buried them instead. But the family said they never got that attempt. And in fact, why wasn't more attempts made so the family can be identified?
Now to a difficult and disturbing story out of Mississippi. Just weeks after NBC News learned about a man who was killed and buried without his family's knowledge, we've learned it happened again. NBC's Blaine Alexander has more.
For Mercedes Onachukwu, her big brother Mario Moore was one of a kind.
He was full of wisdom and charm, and he just had a personality that you did not forget easily.
His life wasn't easy. He'd spent years fighting a drug habit and could disappear for months at a time, but he would always come home. Until last month, when their sister, Marquita Moore, saw an article from NBC affiliate WLBT about homicides there in Jackson, Mississippi that had gone unreported. Mario's name was second on the list.
I just broke down. I felt just weak. And I couldn't do anything else.
According to the coroner's report, Moore was killed by blunt force trauma to the head. His body was found on the street wrapped in a tarp 8 months before his family ever knew. Then the second shock. Mario had already been buried in a pauper's grave behind the county jail.
We do not have a grave number. We don't have anything other than the coroner saying I buried his body in an undisclosed location.
For his mother, Mary Moore Glenn, the grief is unspeakable.
They put him in a bag and they just dump him in a grave like they're a dog or something. Who gives you the right to do that?
He was buried on July 14th, the very same day and location as Dexter Wade. His case sparked national outrage after NBC News first reported he was hit and killed by an off-duty Jackson police officer, then buried before his family was ever notified. His mother, Betterstein Wade, had spent more than 5 months searching for her son.
Help me understand what that time was like for you.
That time was horrible. You would lay in your bed. You would think he might have been out there suffering.
I'm going up beyond.
Why are we not interviewing the police? They did it. And I bet ain't nothing gonna happen to them. This is sickening.
After NBC's report, Wade's body was exhumed, and just this week, his family held the funeral he was long denied. At the time, Jackson's mayor called it a failure in communication. The Jackson Police Department has not responded to our requests for comment on either case. A police commander told Moore's family an officer left a business card at their mother's home, which they say they never saw.
If my son had committed a crime out there, I said, you all will be coming knocking at my door. And if you didn't get anybody, you would have come back. Again.
Mario's family held a memorial service for him, but it has not stopped the questions. His homicide is still unsolved. Blaine Alexander, NBC News.
As of now, it was over 215 bodies in that field. You can only imagine the people who's not aware of that news article. Hopefully this story can bring more awareness to this situation. And for the residents of Mississippi, I pray you guys know that you guys can use my platform to shine light on anything that's affecting you guys' community. Once again, rest in peace to the people who lost their life, who's not identified. It's a very unfortunate situation. We send 11 prayers to the family. Fam, it's time for you guys to let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and send this out to the masses.
Yeah. Mississippi tripping. Jackson. Like, bro. Y'all gotta get it together. This is unheard of. 215. Y'all basically just made a mass grave. Condolences to the families in the video. Mention and not mention. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Shake, 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 baby gon' shake it, baby gon' shake it, baby gon' shake it, baby gon' shake it, baby gon' shake it. Yeah, I like that. Bring that right here, let's sit down right here.